Episode 6. The Saint of Skulls. The Friar doesn't meet me at the temple entrance when I return. Instead, there's someone else waiting in the candlelit darkness. A mountain of a man, 2 meters tall if he's a centimeter, wearing combat gear that's seen more action than most soldiers survive. His face is a roadmap of scars, the kind you earn by being too stubborn to die when death comes calling. He doesn't say anything, just watches me approach with eyes that calculate threat assessments the way computers process data: cold, clinical, final. I'm here to see the Friar, I tell him. No, his voice is gravel scraped across concrete. You're here to prove you deserve to see the Friar. There's a difference. And you are? Deacon. The Friar's hands when wisdom needs weight behind it. He shifts, and I catch the outline of weapons under his coat. Military hardware, the kind that costs more than most undercity settlements. He told you about the Red Skulls. Told you to clear them out. That wasn't a suggestion. That was a test. I passed through his gate. I found his temple. Isn't that enough? No. Deacon takes a step closer. Even standing still, he radiates violence, the kind that comes from decades of surviving situations that killed everyone else. Finding the temple means you're desperate or lucky, probably both. Clearing the Red Skulls means you're capable, means you're worth the knowledge the Friar keeps, means you're something more than just another ghost looking for answers in the dark. The black chip pulses in my skull. It's reading Deacon the way I used to read mission briefings. Threat level, extreme. Combat capability, elite. Probability of survival if this goes violent, low single digits. What if I refuse? Then you leave, and the Friar's knowledge stays buried. Simple as that. His expression doesn't change. But you won't refuse, because you need what he knows more than you need to survive the Red Skulls. And that desperation, that's what makes you dangerous enough to maybe pull this off. He's right. I hate that he's right, but he is. I've been awake 3 weeks. My memories are fragments and ghosts. The 10 million credit bounty makes me radioactive, and somewhere in the temple behind this human wall, there's information about who I was and why AstroTech is afraid of what I carry. I need that information more than I need safety, more than I need rest, maybe more than I need to live. Tell me about the Red Skulls. Deacon pulls out a data pad, old military model, scratched and functional. He brings up a map of the deep levels, sectors I don't recognize overlaid with territorial markers. They control 4 sectors. Maybe 200 fighters, all armed, all augmented to various degrees. They prey on refugees, shake down settlements, kill anyone who resists. Standard gang behavior amplified by the fact there's no law this deep and they know it. Leadership? Woman named Cade calls herself the Skull Queen because subtlety is dead and she killed it. Former corporate security, got discarded when she aged out of active duty, came down here, carved out a kingdom from blood and fear. He zooms in on a structure. She operates from an old industrial complex, Sector 14 below the condemned zones, fortress by undercity standards, automated defenses, hardened positions, kill zones. She's been doing this 10 years. No one's touched her. Until now. Until now. Deacon studies me with those calculating eyes. You're not what I expected. The files say you were elite, top-tier operator, could ghost through any defense. Looking at you now, you're barely holding together. Cryosickness, neural damage, degraded augments. You should be dead or crippled. Disappointing? Realistic. Which is why I'm going to give you something most don't get. He reaches into his coat and pulls out a weapon. Not a gun, something older. A blade, maybe 40 centimeters, curved slightly, the metal dark and hungry looking, one a molecular edge. Pre-war manufacturing, before they standardized everything. It'll cut through modern armor like tissue paper. Because you're going to need every advantage you can steal. I take the blade. It's perfectly balanced, settling into my grip like it was made for my hand. The black chip approves, feeding me combat data about optimal strike angles and target vulnerabilities. For a moment, I'm not a broken asset held together by spite. I'm what I used to be. What they made me. Dangerous. The Friar wants the Red Skulls cleared, Deacon continues. That means K dead, her lieutenants scattered, their operation broken beyond repair. Doesn't matter how you do it. Stealth, frontal assault, burning the whole complex to the ground. Just make sure when you're done, the deep levels are free of their grip. And if I fail, then another ghost joins the collection, and the Friar keeps waiting for someone worthy. He turns to go, then pauses. But for what it's worth, I don't think you'll fail. I think you're going to do what desperate people do when they've got nothing to lose. You're going to become the monster they're afraid you are. He walks back into the temple, leaving me alone with a blade and a death sentence disguised as a test. The black chip pulses. Not hungry yet. Patient. It knows what's coming. I know what's coming too. War. I spent 6 hours planning. Not because I need 6 hours to figure out how to hit a gang fortress, because my body needs 6 hours to recover enough to survive what I'm about to do. The cryo-sickness is still there, lurking in my cells, waiting to strike when I push too hard. I'm burning through reserves I don't have, running on chemical cocktails and stubborn refusal to die. But I've survived worse, I think. The memories are there but slippery, like trying to hold smoke. I remember training that broke people who weren't strong enough. Remember missions where survival was measured in seconds and luck. Remember being good enough that when they called my name, targets started planning funerals. That person is buried under 13 years of ice and neural damage, but maybe I can dig him out for one more fight. The Red Skulls operate from an industrial complex that used to manufacture something. The data Deacon gave me isn't clear on what. Doesn't matter. Now it's a fortress, converted into a gang headquarters with all the professionalism of people who used to work for corporations and learned the wrong lessons. The complex sits at the bottom of Sector 14, built into the bones of old Tokyo. 5 levels, each one more fortified than the last. Automated turrets at key positions, hardened bulkheads, choke points designed to turn any assault into a meat grinder. Cade learned from her corporate days. She's made her fortress into a place where numbers and equipment mean more than skill. She's wrong about that. I approach from below, through maintenance tunnels that predate the complex by decades. The maps Deacon provided show access points the Red Skulls don't know exist. Or, if they know, they don't care. They're too confident in their defenses, too comfortable in their kingdom. Confidence gets you killed. The first level is storage. Crates of supplies, stolen goods, whatever the Red Skulls have accumulated from a decade of predation. 3 guards patrol in shifts, casual and bored, expecting nothing because nothing ever happens this deep. I kill the first guard in silence. Monomolecular blade through the gap between helmet and body armor, severing the spinal cord before the brain can process alarm. He drops without a sound. The second guard turns at the movement, and I'm already inside his reach, blade moving like water, opening his throat with surgical precision. The third guard is faster, augmented reflexes, bringing his weapon up, firing. I'm not there anymore. The black chip predicted his firing solution 3 seconds before he pulled the trigger. I've already moved, coming at him from an angle his combat software didn't calculate. The blade finds the gap in his armor, and he joins his companions in silence. 3 bodies, 0 alarms. The old skills are surfacing, buried instincts coming back like they never left. I move deeper into the complex. The second level is living quarters. Bunks, personal spaces, the illusion of civilization in a place that forgot what civilization means. More guards here, 8 spread across the floor, some sleeping, some gambling, all of them unprepared for someone who moves like death with a blade. I could try to go quiet, pick them off one by one, go through their defenses like I'm not even there. But quiet takes time, and time means my body breaks down further, so I don't try quiet. I try fast. The first two die before they know I'm in the room. The next three scramble for weapons, shouting alarms, and I'm already moving through them like smoke with edges. The monomolecular blade doesn't care about armor or augments or training, it just cuts, and everything it touches stops moving. The remaining three get organized. They're corporate trained, recognizing a threat, forming a defensive position. Under different circumstances, they might even survive. These aren't different circumstances. I throw the blade. It spins through the air, catches one in the throat. While they're processing that, I've closed the distance, taken a weapon from a cooling corpse, put rounds through the other two before they can adjust their aim. 8 bodies, alarms screaming. The fortress knows something is wrong, but doesn't know what. Doesn't know where I am, or how many attackers there are. They're thinking raid, thinking rival gang, thinking anything except the truth. One man, one blade, one ghost who refuses to stay buried. I recover the monomolecular blade from the dead guard's throat, wipe it clean on his jacket, and keep moving. The third level is where the real defenses start. Automated turrets, reinforced positions, kill zones designed by someone who understood combat architecture. This is Cade's handiwork, corporate security doctrine applied to gang warfare. It's impressive. It's not enough. The black chip feeds me firing solutions, shows me the turret blind spots that exist in any automated system. I move through them like I'm reading a script, each step calculated for maximum efficiency. When I can't avoid the turrets, I use the bodies I'm leaving behind as shields, letting their armor absorb rounds while I close distance and put the systems offline with precise strikes. It's brutal. It's efficient. It's everything I used to be, condensed into pure violence. The Red Skulls are responding now. I can hear them organizing, setting up defensive positions, trying to contain whatever's tearing through their fortress. They're bringing numbers to bear, thinking weight of fire will stop me. They're wrong. I hit their defensive position from 3 directions simultaneously. Not because I can be in 3 places at once, because I'm fast enough to strike, relocate, strike again before they can process that it's the same attacker. The black chip is overclocking my reflexes, pushing my degraded augments past safe limits, and I don't care. I'll pay for it later. If there is a later. The defensive position collapses in under 30 seconds. Bodies pile up, some dead, some wounded, all of them learning the hard lesson that numbers mean nothing when you're fighting someone who's better. I'm through to the 4th level before they can regroup. This is officer territory, where Cade's lieutenants operate, better trained, better equipped, actually dangerous instead of just numerous. 5 of them waiting in a hardened command center, expecting an assault, ready to make it cost. The door is reinforced, blast rated. I could spend 10 minutes trying to breach it properly. Or I could improvise. I pull a thermal charge from a dead lieutenant's kit. Military hardware, probably stolen from a corporate armory. It'll burn through the door in 3 seconds and announce my position to anyone within 100 meters. Perfect. I plant the charge, fall back, and let it work. The blast is bright and hot, turning the door into slag. Before the smoke clears, I'm moving through the breach. The command center erupts in gunfire. Concentrated, professional, exactly the response I expected. I let the black chip guide me, moving through the storm of rounds like I'm dancing instead of dying. My body is screaming. Every movement costs. Every breath is an effort. I'm burning out, systems failing, held together by chemicals and will. But I'm still faster than they are. The monomolecular blade finds the first lieutenant's eye socket, punches through to the brain. I'm already turning, using the body as a shield, closing on the second. She's good, getting a knife into my ribs before I can complete the strike. The blade skitters off reinforced ribs. Old augments, still functional, and I return the favor with the monomolecular edge through her throat. 3 left. They've fallen back to a secondary position, firing controlled bursts, making every round count. Under normal circumstances, this is where training and discipline win, where the lone attacker runs out of luck and becomes just another corpse. But I'm not operating under normal circumstances. I'm operating under the black chips calculation that I have maybe 5 minutes before my body shuts down completely, which means I don't have time for caution or tactics or anything except pure forward momentum. I charge. It's stupid. It's suicidal. It's exactly what they don't expect. I take hits. Rounds punch through combat skin into flesh, breaking things that were already broken. Pain lights up my nervous system like a Christmas tree, and the black chip floods me with enough chemical blockers to keep me moving. I'm in close quarters now, where guns are useless and it comes down to blades and augmented strength, and who wants to live more? I want to live more. Not for myself, for Lyra, dying in my fractured memories. For Chen, maybe dead, maybe alive. For Tanaka, executed on a corporate stage while the colonies watched. For everyone who died believing the resistance meant something. I want to live long enough to make their deaths matter. The 3rd lieutenant goes down with a blade through the chest. The 4th tries to strangle me, augmented hands crushing my windpipe, and I return the favor by putting my thumbs through his eyes. The 5th runs, makes it 3 meters before the monomolecular blade catches him in the back, punching through spine and heart. 5 lieutenants, dead in under a minute. I collapse against a wall, breathing hard, tasting blood. My body is failing. The cryo-sickness is surging, fighting the chemical cocktails, trying to shut me down. I've got minutes, maybe less. But there's one more level. One more target. Cade. The 5th level isn't a fortress. It's a throne room. Cade has turned the industrial complex's old administrative level into something between a command center and a monument to her own ego. Screens showing security feeds from across her territory. Weapons mounted on walls like trophies. And in the center, a chair that's too large to be practical and too ornate to be anything except symbolic. She's sitting in it when I stumble through the door. Cade is exactly what I expected, and nothing like it. Late 40s, augmented to corporate security standard, with the kind of professional bearing that comes from years of being pointed at problems and told to solve them. But there's something else in her eyes, something broken and hungry and dangerous. She looks at me and smiles. Zyl Koban, the ghost of AstroTech past. I was wondering when you'd make it up here. She stands slowly, hands away from weapons, unthreatening. Took you longer than I expected. You're hurt. Bleeding in at least 6 places. Your augments are failing. You should be dead. Disappointing. Impressive. She takes a step closer. Do you know why I came down here? Why I built this kingdom in the dark? Because corporate security discarded you when you aged out. Standard policy. Use people until they break, then throw them away. Close, but not quite right. She pulls aside her collar, showing augment ports that have been crudely modified, rewired in ways that should be impossible. I didn't age out. I learned things I wasn't supposed to. Asked questions about where certain people went after they retired. Started looking into corporate black sites and off-books programs. So they did what they always do with problems that ask too many questions. They tried to kill you. They tried to erase me, wipe my records, burn my identity, sent a termination team to make sure I couldn't talk. Her smile is bitter, but I was good at my job. Good enough to survive, good enough to disappear, and smart enough to realize that surviving means becoming something they can't touch. So you became a predator instead of prey. I became what they made me, a weapon turned loose on the people they consider expendable. She gestures to the screens around us, showing the sectors under her control. Everyone down here is disposable. The refugees, the rebels, the ones who fell through the cracks. No one above cares what happens to them. So I carved out a kingdom where I make the rules and the only law is survival. The black chip is feeding me combat analysis, threat assessment, probability matrices. Cade is dangerous. Maybe as dangerous as I used to be before 13 years on ice broke everything. If this goes violent, I might not walk away. But I didn't come this far to walk away. The Friar sent me to end you, I say. Clear the red skulls. Free the deep levels. I know. Deacon probably gave you some dramatic speech about tests and proving yourself. She pulls a blade, monomolecular, matching mine. But here's what he didn't tell you. This isn't just a test, it's a message. The Friar has been trying to clear me out for years, sent 12 operators before you, all of them skilled, all of them desperate, all of them dead. 13's my lucky number. Maybe. Or maybe you are just the latest ghost to join the collection. She drops into a combat stance that's pure corporate doctrine, perfect form, years of muscle memory. But I'll give you this much. You made it further than any of the others. Killed my lieutenants, breached my fortress, survived longer than you should have. That earns you an honorable death instead of being left to bleed out in the corridors. Generous. Practical. I used to be like you. Elite operator, following orders, believing I was making a difference. Then I learned the truth. We're just tools, weapons pointed at problems, and when the weapon breaks, they throw it away and get a new one. She starts to circle, looking for angles, testing my response time. You know what the sad part is? You're already broken. Whatever they did to you, whatever that chip in your head is doing to keep you alive, it's killing you. Slowly, surely. You're dead already. You just haven't stopped moving yet. She's right. I can feel it. The black chip is burning through neural pathways that can't regenerate. My augments are failing faster than they can compensate. I'm a machine with failing parts, running on momentum and spite. But momentum and spite can carry you a long way. Then let's make this quick, I say. She moves. Corporate security training meets corporate security training. We're both products of the same system, taught by the same instructors, drilled in the same doctrine. For 5 seconds, the fight is perfectly matched. Every strike counted, every feint recognized, every opening too small to exploit. Then the black chip shows me something. A gap in her defense, not technical, psychological. She's fighting like someone who's survived 12 previous attempts. She's expecting patterns, standard tactics, the kind of combat that follows rules. They don't follow rules anymore. Rules died when they put me on ice. I throw the monomolecular blade. She deflects it easily. Obvious attack, amateur move. Except it's not an attack, it's a distraction. While she's tracking the blade, I'm closing distance, getting inside her guard, and by the time she realizes the mistake, I've already got my hands on her weapon arm. We grapple. Augmented strength against augmented strength. She's fresh. I'm dying. By every measure that matters, she should win this. She doesn't. Because I've spent 3 weeks learning to fight with failing systems, learning to compensate for degraded augments and neural damage, learning to survive when survival should be impossible. That's an education she never got. She's still operating at peak performance, trusting her hardware. I don't have that luxury. I break her arm, snap the weapon away, drive my forehead into her nose, breaking the reinforced cartilage, and while she's processing pain, I've recovered the monomolecular blade and opened her throat. She drops, eyes wide, surprised, like she can't believe this is how it ends. I'm sorry, I tell her, and I mean it, because she was right. We're both products of the same system, both weapons that got thrown away. The only difference is I got lucky enough to find a purpose beyond survival. She dies on the floor of her throne room, surrounded by screams showing a kingdom that's already falling apart. I stand over her body, breathing hard, tasting blood. My vision is tunneling. The cryosickness is surging, fighting the chemical cocktails, winning the war for my failing nervous system. I've got minutes, maybe seconds. But the job is done. The red skulls are broken, Cade's dead, the deep levels are free of their grip. I've passed the test. Now I just need to survive long enough to collect my prize. I don't remember walking back to the temple. The black chip must guide me, autopilot function keeping me moving while my conscious mind checks out. When I come back to awareness, I'm on the temple floor, staring up at candles that blur and multiply my damaged vision. Deacon is standing over me. You made it back. That's more than most. Cade? Dead. We got confirmation 20 minutes ago. The red skulls are scattering. Sector 14 is in chaos. He kneels beside me, and for the first time, I see something like respect in those cold eyes. You did it. Against odds that should have killed you 3 times over, you did it. The Friar? We'll see you now, if you can stand. I can't stand, but I managed to sit, which is close enough. My body is a catalogue of damage, systems failing faster than the black chip can compensate. I'm running out of time. The Friar emerges from the temple's inner chambers. He looks at me for a long moment, expression unreadable. Then he nods, like I've confirmed something he suspected. You passed the test, Zyl Koban. Not because you killed Katie, though that's impressive. Not because you cleared the red skulls, though that frees people who needed freedom. You passed because you chose to fight for something beyond yourself. That's rare down here. That matters. I need answers, I manage. About what happened. About the chip. About why AstroTech wants me dead. I know, and I'll give you those answers. Everything Commander Tanaka died protecting. Every secret, every file, every truth they tried to bury. He gestures to Deacon, who produces a data crystal. But first, you need to survive the next few hours. Your body is shutting down. The chip is the only thing keeping you conscious, and it's burning out neural pathways to do it. I know. So here's what happens next. Deacon will take you to a safe location. We have medical equipment, not corporate grade, but functional. We'll stabilize you, repair what we can, give your body time to recover. The Friar holds up the data crystal, and while you're healing, you can review this. Every answer you're looking for. Everything that led to you being frozen for 13 years. Everything that makes you dangerous enough to be worth 10 million credits. I take the crystal. It's worn from his hand, heavy with implications. And after? After, you make a choice. The knowledge on that crystal will show you what AstroTech fears, what they're willing to kill to keep hidden, what you carry in your skull that makes you a threat to their entire operation. He meets my eyes. What you do with that knowledge is up to you. Revenge, justice, burning their towers to the ground. I won't judge. I just keep the memories safe, so someone like you can use them. Deacon lifts me carefully, supporting weight I can't hold on my own. Come on, Ghost. Let's get you somewhere you can die in private if it comes to that. Encouraging. Realistic. You've earned that much. He carries me deeper into the temple, through passages that don't exist on any map, to a medical bay that's surprisingly well equipped for being in a forgotten shrine 3 levels below civilization. They put me on a table, connect monitors, start pushing drugs that fight with black chip's chemistry. The Friar appears one more time before I lose consciousness. You remind me of her, Commander Tanaka. Same determination, same willingness to burn yourself out for what you believe in. Should be proud of what you did today. I didn't do it for pride. No. You did it because it needed doing. That's what made her great too. He places the data crystal on the table beside me. Rest now. Heal, and when you wake, you'll finally understand what you are, what they made you, and why they're so afraid you came back. The drugs pull me under, but before consciousness fades, the black chip pulses, not hungry anymore, satisfied, like it's been waiting for this moment, for the data that will explain what we are. What we've always been. A weapon that refused to stay buried. And now the weapon knows where to point itself. End of episode 6.